The legendary Gaussian channel is about to flip green, but there's a problem. It's been red for longer than any other market cycle in history. Is this a huge red flag of what's to come? Let's break it down. I have a question. Do you want to know when to buy and when to sell? Would you like to have an extra income stream? Do you want to make 5 times more in this bull run? There's only 1 day left. The largest ever discount on my courses in 6 years, a ridiculous 75% off. There's only 1 day left. Do not miss out. You're going to get lifetime access, unlimited viewing. You can watch the courses at your own speed whenever you want. I'm going to transform you from where you are now into knowing exactly when to buy and sell, into having an extra income stream, into making 5 times more in this bull run. If you say to me, I want to sign up, but I'm going to wait for more profits and sign up later. You could, or you sign up now and make 5 times more money in this bull run. It's a bona fide fact. I want you to close your eyes, envision 5 times more money stacked up in front of you at the end of this bull run. Don't throw that away. Sign up today. The clock is ticking. Only 1 day left. Go to CryptoCrewUniversity.com. That's CryptoCrewUniversity.com. I'll see you on the inside. Let's jump into the charts. We're on the Bitcoin US dollar index. We're on the weekly chart, and we have the Gaussian channel pulled up. We've talked about the Gaussian channel on many different time frames, but it's been a while since we've talked about it on the weekly. And that's because Bitcoin is about to flip green on the weekly. How do we know that? Well, when we go to the 6-day chart, which is 1 day before the weekly chart, we already know it's been green for a period of time. And by doing a couple simple math equations, we know that the time is coming just around the corner for us to switch to green. But this is where it gets interesting because we know that it's been red for 420 days. And by a simple look at the chart, we know that that red period is longer than any other market cycle in history. So what does that mean? Are we in trouble? Is flipping to green going to be a good thing? How do we know if we are falling into deep trouble? Let's break it down because we've already looked at this chart where it's 2023. We came below this red period. We battled up into this red period. We were met with resistance from the median line, and then we finally held on top. For those of you who are relatively new to the legendary Gaussian channel, it's relatively simple. There's a green color, and then there's a red color. The red on a weekly chart represent the bear market. There's no denying it. This was the bear market here in the end of it. This was the bear market here in the end of it. This was the bear market here in the end of it. And here we are in the red, right? Then there's the green channel, which represents all of the bull runs. You can see this incredible bull run all in green. This incredible bull run all in green. This incredible bull run all in green. So the Gaussian channel on the weekly is a huge cheat code. And the Gaussian channel comes in 3 distinct lines. There's the top line, the median line, and the bottom line. The top line likes to act as support and resistance, as do the others. The key is when you're in a bull run and you're rallying, you do not want to have any candle close inside of here. Let's start to break that down because that is going to give us a huge clue as to what's coming. Let's get in our time machine and let's go all the way back to 2012. 2012, we had an incredible rally that did not even come close to touching our green channel. We had our top in the market right here in 2011, but then we subsequently fell. When you fall in prices after having an extravagant run, it's okay except when you dip your toe into the Gaussian channel. The Gaussian channel acts as quicksand. And as soon as you get one candle to close as resistance on a weekly chart, that is the start of the downfall of Bitcoin, right? Then Bitcoin usually takes around 1 or 2 years to recover from that time. That generally represents the bottom of the markets. It generally represents some of the best times to get into crypto. But again, if you just simply took profits when you entered the green channel in Bitcoin, you could easily double your portfolio by selling here and buying at the low. Again, you're going to need a simple strategy to follow, But let's look at the facts. So we dipped our toe into the Gaussian channel. We already knew way back in October of 2011 that we were going to have 1 to 2 years of trouble. And it took us from that period about 1 year to get out of trouble and hold support on top of the Gaussian channel. Okay, so we flipped from red to green and we were off to the races. You can see in this green period from here, we went on an enormous run, just an unfathomable run. And again, we did not touch the Gaussian channel. We didn't even come close. However, we touched it here. We had one body of the candle in May of 2014, which again, we had our market cycle top, which we, in retrospect, it's easy to see that in the market that has a top like this and it comes down into here, everybody in the market will think we're going to a new all-time high. Everybody. It'll be almost like 85 to 90% of humans at that time and will say, hey, we're about to go to a new all-time high. It happens in every single market cycle, and it will happen again. Watch, mark my words. It happens every single time. At this point in the market, high majority of people, you know what? New all-time high right around the corner. But now you know, anytime you dip your toe into the Gaussian channel and hold as resistance with just one candle, it's a huge red flag for what's to come. So at that point, it took Bitcoin more than a year to recover. To go from that red to green holding as support was almost 2 years, more than 600 days. As I mentioned, once you dip your toe into the quicksand, it's 1 to 2 years of trouble. That's just a bona fide fact, right? So in this case, it was more than 600 days, and we finally went from red to green. And we went from red to green holding support on the green, which is a key. We'll get into that in a moment for present day. But again, holding that as support is critical. And this period, we were 406 days in red. That first one was just 133 days in red, right? So now we understand, okay, 100 and something days of red, 400 something days of red. Both times when we switched from red to green, holding as support. Red to green, holding it as support. That's key. Pay attention to this as we continue our journey. So now we're in our time machine. We're in 2019, right? We'll go back to the 2017 run. From this point, switching from red to green, we did not touch the Gaussian channel. We were green for this entire period. However, in retrospect, it's easy to see this was our market cycle top. We came crashing down and we bounced off of the top of the Gaussian channel. And again, at this time in the market, everybody is screaming new all-time high right around the corner. This was just a little pullback, buy the dip. We're going to a new all-time high. We're going to the moon. This is what 85% of people will be saying at this time, even potentially 90% of the people. But we did see a bounce. However, this candle right here on May 21st, 2018, we fell into the Gaussian channel. And we know from history that's about 1 to 2 years to recover. Well, it took Bitcoin 434 days to switch from red to green, but it wasn't over yet. And there were some deadly signs all over the place, right? So you dip your toe into the quicksand. It's not a fun time. You don't want to do that, right? We switched from this red period into this green period. And again, what I want to say is can I give you another tip? This is a huge, huge tip. And we covered it here on our channel. But when you switch from this green period to the red, the bottom is close. When you switch from this green period to the red, the bottom is really close. There are so many tricks and techniques you can use with this Gaussian channel. You can find when the bottom is going to come. B, you can know how long this bear market is going to last. And C, you know when you enter a bear market with the entry of the quicksand. Okay, there's so many tricks. Look from right here. Switch from green to red, the bottom happened within 1 month. Switch from green to red, the bottom happened within 1 month. And How about recently? Switch from green to red, the bottom happened within 1 month. Every single time, it's the same. The Gaussian channel is a huge cheat code. So let's go back where we left off. We entered the toe into the quicksand. It took 400 days, but it didn't stop there, because once we switched from red to green, things were looking good. We were in phase 1 of the bull, but we dipped our toe back into quicksand. This is the key. Take a look at this candle right here. November 18th, 2019, we were holding, or even better, November 25th, 2019, holding as resistance inside the Gaussian channel. Now again, at this time, everybody's saying, hey, we're going back to the moon, we're going back to the moon, we're going back to the moon, because we were just at 14K. They're saying this is a little pullback, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. At this point, it'll be, somewhere 70 to 80% of the people at this point in the market screaming that we're about to go higher. And we did go a tiny bit higher, but then we crashed down in enormous fashion. And you already knew that was going to happen because you dipped your toe into the Gaussian channel. You do not play with quicksand. Have you ever tried to fight quicksand? Quicksand's undefeated. It's undefeated. Same here in the Gaussian channel. The quicksand is undefeated. It's undeniable, okay? You dip your toe into here, there's trouble, right? It took us here. This was not a typical bear market, but it still took us 250 days to recover. This was not even a traditional bear market. It still took 250 days to recover after we played the quicksand. You don't want to mess with the quicksand, all right? So again, we started holding support. We came out holding support. Good news, we went on our parabolic run, and we did not touch the Gaussian channel during that time. Now, these wicks, these are fine. We can throw a little wick or two in here. We're good. What you don't want to see is holding resistance inside the quicksand. So we came down to the Gaussian channel. We bounced off it. Great. And again, we made videos about this because we bounced off the Gaussian channel here. We compared it to this 2018, and we said, look, when you bounce off of here, be careful, because you don't want to even touch the Gaussian channel when you're in the bull market. If you touch, it's already a warning. If you dip your toe in, it's over, right? So when we bounced off of here, I know everybody got really, really excited, and we did technically go to a new all-time high. But again, the writing was already on the wall. We saw it bounce off of here, and this run right here was also pretty big, right? We went on a pretty big run of more than 50% here, right? So a run of this nature, I mean, that's just already in the cards. What you don't want to see is this candle right here. This one on January 3rd, 2022. We dipped our toe into the Gaussian channel, and that's all she wrote. We already knew it was going to take 1 to 2 years of recovery, and here we are now, 574 days later, we haven't switched to green, right? So where are we at? We fell from that red period. We bottomed within 1 month. We've been red for 420 days, longer than any other cycle. We did come out of it, right? We came out of our market cycle. This was our first bottom. This was our double bottom. Double bottom had incredibly strong bullish divergence, which we covered step by step here, even though pretty much everyone in the crypto space at that time, it was about 75 to 80% of the humans disagreed with us. They said that we're going tremendously lower. We never did. That was our first bottom. That was our double bottom. And here we are, battling up to the median line, now holding support at the median line, then breaking through the top of the Gaussian channel as of officially on January 26th of this year, and holding support since then. We've been holding support on top of the Gaussian channel around June 26th, holding support, and we've been holding up here for about a month or more so far. So what can we make of this? Because we are red, we've been red longer than any other period, and if we go back and we just look at these periods, the most was in 2015, and we can see that in 2015 we held the majority of the time below this bottom channel, right? in here, we didn't hold a bunch of time below here, but we held the majority of the time below here. So if you just look at the cycles, 2015 and 2023, pretty similar, right? Holding incredible time below, finally rallied up to this median line, and then started holding some support, and then started holding some support above here. That's exactly what we're doing now. We're not really similar to 2019, and we're not similar to 2012. Right? We're very similar to 2015, which is what we've been covering for about 9 months now. We're very similar to the 2015 fractal pattern. So if we are similar to this 2015, what happens next? Well, what we did back then was change from red to green, and we were holding support. That's the key, as we mentioned before. So we're about to flip to green. We need to flip from red to green, holding support. That's what we're doing. Now, as we've said many times before, by all the charts that I study, which I study maybe 50 to 60 different Bitcoin charts, just Bitcoin charts, from every angle you can possibly imagine, they're all saying we're in phase one of the bull. Now, the humans aren't saying that, but we don't care what the humans are saying. The charts are saying we're in phase one of the bull. It's almost undeniable at this point. Now, when we're in phase one of the bull, it's a tricky situation. When we turn to green, we can't dip our toes back into the Gaussian channel. We already know what that's like. We do not want to do that. We did that in 2019. We got so excited, we rallied from 3K to 14K, and then we dipped our toe in the Gaussian channel, and it took us 250 days to recover. We don't want to mess with that. When we switch to green, it's going to be the toughest test that Bitcoin has had, because this bull market, it's not going to be as strong as the other ones. But we know that by a factor of 5.3 with our 5.3 theory, right? It's not likely Bitcoin's going to get up to 100K in this market cycle. It's not likely. So we know that the market cycle is not going to be as strong. We know that this is going to be the hardest test that Bitcoin has ever faced, is can we stay above the Gaussian channel once it turns green? It's going to be a huge test. As it looks right now, we're going to flip green probably within the next month. All right? Within the next month, we're going to flip to green, and we're going to need to continue to hold that as support. The top of the channel right now sits at about 28.3K. Okay? We've been following this every step of the way, and this is going to give us huge insight as to what's going to come. Is Bitcoin going to remain green for hundreds and hundreds of days and not touch it? Or are we going to have it flip to green, struggle, dip our toe in the quicksand, and have multiple hundreds of days to recover from that? Keep in mind, both scenarios, Bitcoin remains in a bull market. In this scenario, Bitcoin remained in a bull market. That was phase one of the bull. It took hundreds of days to recover, but it was phase one of the bull. And this was phase one of the bull. Both are bull, okay? The only time you're going to see a bear market is when we dip our toe into here and flip back to red, right? The red represents every single bear market. So it's unlikely that Bitcoin is going to crash down to, whatever the number you're waiting for, 1K or 500 or whatever the case may be. It's unlikely. It's highly likely that Bitcoin remains in phase one of the bull. The key question is, are we going to have hundreds of days of trouble, or are we going to have glory days? And time will tell. We'll be covering it step by step here. And I do want to say to you, thank you for your continued support. I understand from your perspective, if you're somewhat new to the channel and you're like, oh my God, Steve is advertising his courses. I want you to take a second and look at the big picture. If this were reverse roles and I watched you and I realized about you that, okay, I watch your videos. I like what you have to say. I believe you're saying a lot of the facts in the charts. It makes sense to me. I like what you're doing. If I realized that you turned down millions of dollars for sponsorships and promotions of crap companies and coins, you turned down millions of dollars and chose to just talk about the truth and not take a bunch of paid ads and not promote leverage trading down below in your description and not have all these paid links in your description of every video, getting people to sign up to a bunch of scams, I would respect that. I would also respect that you have been in trading for more than 20 years and that you took your knowledge to make a course to actually help people. So instead of taking dirty money, millions of dollars, you turned all of that down to actually help people, to build courses that actually change people's lives. I would respect the hell out of that, especially if you knew that you haven't had a sale on the courses in a year. Whew. Hell yeah. I would say I would respect the hell out of that. If this were reverse roles and you knew what I knew, you would respect the hell out of what I'm doing, because I turned down all the dirty money and I only promote what I built with my two hands. I only promote what actually changes lives. And that's a bona fide fact. Talk to any of my students. They'll all say the same thing. I wish I signed up sooner. I was blown away with the courses, and now I have extra income stream. Now I know exactly when to buy and when to sell. Now I have way more free time, way less stress. A lot of my students left the job that they didn't like, and now they work for themselves with extra revenue streams and setting up for themselves and their family. You could be next. But there's only one day left. Go to CryptoCrewUniversity.com, CryptoCrewUniversity.com. I'll see you on the inside. Don't miss out on this 75% off. We've never had anything like it in 6 years, and we won't have it again. Go to CryptoCrewUniversity.com. I'll see you on the inside.
I was just investing my money, throwing it into the abyss, tens of thousands of dollars. And now with Steve's plan, I'm up 32,000. I'm appreciative for this course. It really works.